Good morning.
10 minutes.
I
We didn't
will call the July 23rd, 2026 DeKalb County Drainage Board meeting to order. First order of business is to approve the June 18th, 2026 meeting minutes. I'd like to make a motion to approve or amend the minutes of June 18th, 2026.
So moved.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve the June 18th, 2026 meeting minutes as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Next, we have the attorney fees for July of $1,295.00.
So move to accept as presented. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the July attorney fees as presented. Is there any further discussion? There no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you, Shannon. Moving on to a minor subdivision for Eicher Acres out on State Road 101 in Spencerville, Indiana. Anybody here on their behalf? Good morning. State your name, address, and who you're with.
Yep, I am Shannon Mark. I'm with On the Mark Land Surveying. It's 7729 Westfield Drive is our office address. This is, as you mentioned, Eicher Acres. It's going to be a one-lot minor subdivision for a single-family residence.
It's going to be one parcel, 8.856 acres. I already have a driveway permit.
Surveyor approves. I want to make a motion to approve the minor subdivision for Eicher Acres out on State Road 101, Spencerville, Indiana, 46788.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minor subdivision as presented. Is there any further discussion? Here, no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you for your time. Another minor subdivision for Kraft Acres, State Road 8 in Butler, Indiana. Anybody here on their behalf? Morning.
Angie Wallace with Compass Land Surveying. We're dividing this lot into two parcels. One is 9.7 acres, one 6.4, and it's for single-family residence.
Good. The Solomon Shank does go into the one. I did see that they have soil borings pretty close to that.
I had made it to their attention and told them to get with Kathy on that to make sure. I'm sure that soil didn't know, the scientists didn't know it was coming right in there, but.
Yeah. But, I mean, you have it marked on the legal descriptions.
Yeah.
Good on our end.
Very good. Anybody want to make a motion to approve the minor subdivision for Kraft Acres on State Road 8, Butler, Indiana? Looks like it involves two of our regulated drains. Stated on the agenda for today. With this favorable recommendation from the Surveyor's Office.
For the surveyor's recommendation, I would so move to accept as presented.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve Kraft Acres minor subdivision as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Another minor subdivision for a plat of Havenwood It's out on County Road 64 in Jackson Township.
This is a 10-acre lot divided into two parcels. One ends up being 6.34, and one's 3.34. They are looking to share a driveway. They do have the permit for the west lot. He is working with Ben to put like, just a proposed, because they're not gonna use that, but they need to have one in place if that shared driveway ever doesn't work out.
Very good. Anybody want to make a motion based on the favorable recommendation of the surveyor's office for the minor subdivision of plat of Havenwood on County Road 64, Jackson Township?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minor subdivision as presented. Is there any further discussion?
Quick question. We don't need to worry about the driveway, right?
Not unless it goes over a drain. That's for the highway department to sort. This is just approval for the drainage, on the drainage part of this project.
Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Another minor subdivision for Hognott and Schultz Legacy Acres.
Last one, guys. Lot 1, 2.55 acres, just a single-family residence.
So it meets the requirements.
Favorable recommendation from the surveyor's office. Have a motion to approve the minor subdivision for Hognott Schultz Legacy Acres at 6347 County Road 5 in Waterloo, Indiana, involving three of the county regulated drains.
I so move. I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minor subdivision as presented with favorable recommendation from the surveyor's office. Is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thanks, Angie. Looks like the last minor subdivision is Kelsey Acres out on County Road 44. Morning. Good. I have a motion to approve the Kelsey Acres on County Road 64 with favorable recommendation from the surveyor's office for the minor subdivision.
Would so move we accept as presented with the surveyor's recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minor subdivision for Kelsey Acres as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to development plan for Lakewood Park Sports Complex out on County Road 31. Good morning.
met with, Shelby. She came to the office a while back and kind of discussed this project and went over it. This is just kind of phase one. They're not doing a whole lot here until they get to the second and third phase, and eventually we'll get into storm retention and rerouting of the tube.
Yep.
But, for now, just the tennis courts and the parking lot. Proposed drainage in the parcel side.
Mayor approves the development plan for Lakewood. Make motion to approve development plan for Lakewood Park Sports Complex out on County Road 31 involving 3 of the county regulated drains.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve development plan as presented. Is there any further discussion?
I think we should label it as phase one, just to be clear.
They're gonna do it in 3 phases, or? We made it sound like it was.
I'll amend my motion with adding phase one to it.
I'd like to, do we have a second? You did, yeah. Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the development plan for phase one, Lakewood Park Sports Complex with favorable recommendation from the surveyor's office. Is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you for your time.
It's good seeing you again for the 3rd time. Keep running into you. Plan commission, commissioners of court, drainage board.
We have another development plan for, I'm sorry, it's a consent and waiver. Zebulon Griggs?
Yep.
Good morning.
Where, you're saying, where's it, from the Y down, you're saying it's? Yeah, that's,
Yeah, that's what that represents. That's what this represents. The dotted line is tile and the solid line is open.
Did this flooding occur on the south side of 60 that you bring up? Was the flooding on the south side of 60 there? Or?
so according to, like where you're gonna reconstruct it, you're gonna tie it into lateral one, then discharge it in the ditch instead of discharging it directly into the ditch? So you're planning on upsizing the lateral to that manhole? By record. Lateral one, I think, was reconstructed 9 years ago. Yeah.
So, exactly,
But I think it's fine. The only thing I was confused is why why he doesn't want to just discharge it directly into the ditch. Like, why go to lateral one and upsize lateral one just for the space? Gives us a little more. Okay. I mean, it's definitely gonna help that area, because, I mean, he's reconstructing the bottom end of the drain. So it's not like they're doing the top end and leaving the bottom end alone. That definitely helped in more
So
side.
reconstruction, it was just lateral one, nothing on the
No, so,
was done at that time?
yeah,
yeah, correct. Yeah. Just the reconstruction 9 years ago was just lateral.
so can you show me exactly, Troy, where they're,
Yeah, so they're gonna take out like 100 foot of lateral one to the west, relay that in 24 inch, then set a manhole about right where his mouse is,
okay?
and then they're gonna go straight north, right there.
Oh, okay.
and then vacate the part that goes out and around to the east.
That hurting anything on this? I guess you own that as well. 'Cause it goes up to one, so.
So you're okay with that?
So you're all right, you're all right with that?
Make sure, all the parcels are good.
Okay, so you're pretty much,
Do any tile going in from the east to the old main?
okay, so pretty much everything
Abandoned?
The one on the top.
that tile would be affecting in that area. You
The
will.
curves that they want to abandon?
Yeah. Apparently, they're going straight north.
Are you planning on capping this off at all so that it doesn't form any future suck holes or anything? Are you, for this part here that you're gonna abandon, are you gonna cap it off, destroy it, remove it, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Are you going to actually cross County Road 60 then, or not? Will this still remain as a county regulated drain, even though they're relaying it a different position?
Yes, it'll still remain a county-regulated drain. He had an attorney look at our consent and waiver form, and they have proposed a rider to attach to it. Mr. Griggs handed it to me this morning, and overall, I think it's fine. I just wanted to make sure with the surveyor's office that they're gonna take care of hiring the contractor. And this is what it sounds like to me, that they will have the right to perform the reconstruction themselves or through one or more of the contractors selected by the landowners, subject to compliance with the plans and specifications approved by the DeKalb County Surveyor and to the surveyor's statutory supervision, inspection, and final approval of the work. So I guess we just need to figure out, because the next paragraph says that the surveyor will not retain or designate a contractor, engineer, et cetera, purchase materials, materially alter the plans without the landowner's written consent. So I'm not sure. I think we've gone both ways, right, with consent and waiver. The surveyor's office just takes care of it and submits the bill to the landowner, or you have supervised and given inspection rights, right, with the landowner doing it, them paying for it themselves, right? So either way, as long, I mean, to me, the important part is it says that they have to work within the surveyor's technical requirements, and that you have the right to inspect so they can get shots on it, so they can know where it is and all of that. So he'll still have to work closely with the surveyor's office. But the consent and waiver does say that the landowner is going to pay 100%. So I think should be a good working relationship. They made some changes on, just to clarify the indemnity, which basically just points to anything that, any negligence done by the board surveyor or the county, which, I mean, if the county does something negligent, they should own that, is my philosophy on that. But I don't know, Glenn or Troy, if you see anything that we should clarify further.
As long as it's done to county specs and we can inspect it and to enforce that, it's.
One of the big things, right, is that it has to be embedded in stone for a certain size, right, that you want? Okay. Okay,
Typically, contractor has to be certified with a surveyor, correct? So,
it's another way for the surveyor's office to be confident in the work level that they do and make sure they put the stone in and, yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't look at that real close. What's the size going north? What are you, how are you sizing this? No, not north 60, from the outlet to 60. All the way?
Yeah.
That should be good. Any future stuff across 60 would plenty, I would think. Yep.
Found a new drainage. Oh,
Surveyor approve waiver. Anybody want to make a motion to approve the consent waivers for Zebulon Griggs out on County Road 60 with a favorable recommendation from the surveyor's office?
I just have one more question. I'm sorry, are you gonna leave the old main hooked up? To the open ditch? You're not crushing it, correct? You're not crushing it? It's just gonna, just in case anything's coming from the east, it's still gonna get away? If there's any laterals coming into that old main from the east? Okay. Okay, perfect, thank you. That was my last question.
Any further questions? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
we didn't have a motion.
Sorry,
We didn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
Steve interrupted you.
I didn't.
Anybody want to make a motion to approve the consent waiver for Zebulon Griggs with a favorable recommendation from the surveyor's office?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent waiver as presented. Is there any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you.
Zebulon?
Do we have it? Yep.
You need this back, Zebulon?
Yes, he said.
Yeah, the writer included in that as well?
Yeah.
Moving on to guest communications. Don't look like we have any guests left, so we'll move on to surveyor's report.
we just got some maintenance stuff we're working on and some sprays, packages. Is there anything that you guys want from us to get ready for the bore? Any more requested information?
Actually, I would like to walk part of that if we could.
Yeah.
I'd really like to get my eyes on it. I don't know about Bruce or anyone else in here, but I talked to Tyler. He said maybe sometime early next week we could meet up. Anyone that wants to go look at this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can, what day you guys thinking? Because we should really send out landowner notices like ASAP.
Let them know. I don't know. I'd probably have to talk to Tyler again about it, and he's in Wisconsin, I think, right on vacation, so
Yeah,
hate to
but-
bother him anymore.
If we could send them out maybe today. I think they have, by the time they get it, it would have to Tuesday, Wednesday. Right?
We can send them out.
We could do it by hand deliver them too.
Once we know the day, we
Is there anyone else interested in doing that?
Be interested.
Okay.
I can't
There
do,
might be a minor problem because I don't think more than 2 of you can go at a time, right? It's open door policy, right? Because
3 then. Can't have 3. It can't be a majority, so there's 5 of us on the board, so 2 of us can go, right?
yes.
Okay.
I mean, you can go a different time. It's just it can't be where the 3 of you could look at it, make up your mind, and that's what the open door policy is. Otherwise, you could do it, you just have to advertise it. Hey, if you want to advertise it, you could do that. We're having a meeting at the Jimmy Drain.
On the drain.
So yes, I just thought I might.
Maybe make 2 groups if we got 4 people interested, I guess.
I don't know, Shannon, if you can advise a little bit on this, but I think it needs to be tiered assessment. And I think we ought to start doing that going forward. I think the highway, state, not be the same, and I don't think all the land should be assessed the same. I think the surveyor should come up with a new assessment. Reconstructions. A little bit that I've read, sounds like highway, the county and the state could be paying double of what they are right now. Sounds like we can legally do that.
In the railroad, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right away, yeah.
Yes.
I know on maintenance they do, but on reconstruction, I think the way the code reads is it has to be essentially even unless there's an excessive assessment or something like that. So maybe you can clarify that.
Shannon, because what I'm reading on the code, it sounds like we have the right to tier it any way we want. Make it, benefits. So in my opinion, if it wasn't for the road flooding, this needs done because the road's flooding. I think for the county, putting us at a risk liability-wise, it needs done. If it wasn't for the road, I would vote no on this, just based on benefit to cost. I do not feel like for a lot of landowners it is. Unless it can be tiered differently.
Can we look at resizing any of the tile? I mean, end up with a 36-inch tile at the end. I realize that's rain events, but if you go to a 24-inch, it's gonna drain out. Just get a new tile up through there, it's gonna help.
The biggest thing, I can pull it up on the map here, the biggest thing with like the first 1,500, 2,000 feet is it's all flat across that field.
Yeah.
To the first county road there.
Yeah.
And to be able to get the flow rate that we need to not sediment the pipe, it has to be that big to be that flat, because we're running at like a 0.5% grade. So
I mean, a 24-inch there's enough head pressure to probably work and push, but the flow is low, you get under 2 feet.
That's you guys' expertise. I just wanted to try to figure out a way to.
But I mean, there was and I know Mike had a design previously where he ran 24 or 18 a lot further up or further down, I guess, than where we ran the 24 up a lot further than for the capacity. But yeah, this whole first 2 fields essentially across here is flat, and then it starts going uphill. And so to get that flow rate to be more than 2 cubic feet per second, that's why we went with that size. Right now, I think right now the existing there's an old and a new parallel that are both 24-inch. So, which is actually more capacity than a 30-inch, but there's 2 of them, and one's not in good shape, so.
Have you repaired any of that that can be reused or to, you know, are there sections that you've fixed in the past that you can, once again, just trying to
Yeah.
figure out a cost-wise on how to bring it down?
On a project this big, I mean, it might be better to break it into multiple phases, like we did with the William Bickle up northwest there. That's another large system that's about the same length as this, that we did in 2 phases up there. I don't know if you would go from like here to 43 in phase 1, and then 43 to 45, up to where it meets 28 in like phase 2, and then all of this in phase 3, or take it all the way up to here as phase 1 for the road flooding. I mean, that's still a lot of tile and a significant cost either way, so.
Whatever phase 1, in my opinion, would have to take care of the road situation.
Yeah, I think
So-
phase 1, you'd have to go to 28.
One or the other, have to take care of the road.
I think you can set a special assessment, just like we did with Eric Morris Drain, and that developer had to pay $74,000 in order to get that project done. I think if the county road situation is something like, this is the reason why we're doing it, I think there could be evidence to support pushing more of the burden onto them.
But would that just be for like one person, or could you like do a different rate for every landowner? But the way I read it, I thought it had to be the same across for everybody, unless there was.
Yeah, the wording of the code is a little bit, it's always been cryptic to me. The percentage allocated to all lands benefited must be at least 100% or as close to 100% as practical. But you are supposed to take into account the benefit factors of section 112 of the code. So while we've always strived to have this 100%, everybody pays the same, I'm not sure the code actually
I don't know
blank
if this is
says
right
that?
or not, but under 36(9)27(112), county drainage boards have the statutory authority to break away from the standard flat rate per acre assessment. If a flat rate creates a substantial burden on landowners receiving no economical benefit, the board can ask the county surveyor to apply a tiered assessment formula.
What's that you're reading?
36-9-27-12.
Pull that one out very often.
I don't know if it's, like I said, but typically use one of the 3 main tiered assessment models to balance watershed contributions with actual tangible benefits. From what I'm reading, it's kind of up to surveyors' discussion on state highway and county highway, but it looks like to me like most of the time they're being assessed double, triple of what, especially when it's a flooded.
That is in the code in the back.
Because it talks about,
For reconstruction, not just maintenance.
Let's see, private crossing.
And I know, like, we left, was it 350 or 400,000? I forget the total for
500.
the Jack and Bora crossed.
50 it was.
Yeah, all of those expenses were left out of the total, and, because we were billing them just to the rail and to NDOT, so we kind of already did a special assessment there.
Hammer Ben Parker 5 times.
we can afford a $180,000 service truck, I think they can afford to help with flooding issues.
Give me that code section one more time.
36-9.
12 talks, 1, 2, 12?
112. 112.
Oh, 112.
36
I'm like,
9 27
That's the benefit factors of 112, yes.
I heard 12.
Okay. I'm like, I
A whole lot.
don't know what.
Not the first time I've been accused of that, so.
Yes, and land use is one of them. And then I believe it says in that code right here. Yeah, in determining percentages under section 50, which is reconstruction. So the board, as long as you are focusing on who's benefited from the project, and that's clear from the evidence of the hearing, there's very little the board can do, that they can do to overturn the decision of the board. You just have to make sure that that section 112. Now, here's the question, I guess. Do we have to dismiss the, if theoretically you would want to do that, I think, I don't know if there's another way, you'd have to dismiss the current one and you'd have to redo it.
From what I read, it didn't sound like you had to. It sounded like you just had to ask the surveyor to do a reassessment.
Put the new scroll together and put it out.
Right.
And everything else, I mean,
I don't think either way it would matter, but.
So could we, because like, I was always taught, and the way we kind of interpreted code was that you could do one or two special assessments, but could we have a different rate for different land use, like we do maintenance for reconstructions then?
So, the law and the code give pretty much leeway to do either. The case law that came down that was very important in 2012, which was it overturned a Court of Appeals decision. The Court of Appeals decision says you have to drill down into how you're benefited. It would have been such a burden on the drainage board for every hearing, but the Supreme Court said you can still do a flat rate. You can still do a flat rate as long as you factor in 112. If you want to do what LaGrange does, and they run it through some kind of formula that does all that, you can. It's just, in the past, it was just considered a crazy burden on the surveyor's office, but maybe as we have modern technology, it's not that big of a deal anymore?
Well, because I know they do some of theirs based off of soil types as well,
Yes.
I think. And
Yes.
so,
That's what I was reading, even like wooded areas and, you know, how they were benefited. They're like, and I don't know, this doesn't say directly, but it says, do not dismiss the project. Instead, use the road flooding as your leverage to fix the unfair rate structure. Keep the project alive and just shift the cost. Tearing the whole project.
I guess the only question I would have is, so the notice for the hearing is just so they can come and give their opinion, but the notice is based on their benefited acres. So if you're lessening the burden on that taxpayer, not a problem. If you're increasing it on the taxpayer, I've always thought that is the problem. Because you send them a notice saying they're gonna be paying $30,000, and then when the bill actually comes, not due to the construction cost increase, but to the fact that the hearing shoved more benefit on them, now it's $45,000, they had no right to object to that particular decision theoretically. But
they need to make it easier with just to cancel it and redo it and have them do it, because my fear is we change it to like wetlands, farmland, wooded areas, roads and stuff, something might get missed in there somewhere that someone else's went up, but we didn't expect it, so.
Glenn, you guys might know this better, but I've heard that the Tuckers have had to sandbag. They've lost their basement multiple times. I mean, it's more than just the road, too. We just need those people to come in and tell us.
I don't know, like we stated, there was, I'm showing in 2015, I don't know if all these records are out. I got a lot of questions on past records, but it was in 2015 when this was requested, and at that time, there was 5 landowners on here that says they were willing to pay extra to get this done. I haven't heard anything about that at this time. I'm not sure who 2 of the 5 are, if they even own any of that. I've heard a lot of different things. I've heard different numbers that did not sound correct. Another thing I talked to Glenn about, I was a little worried about the estimate as well, because back in 21 or 22, the estimate was 700,000, and we're at 770 right now, so, in 4 or 5 years, it's,
Well, actually, though, talked about after the hearing, that's only what's, gonna be billed to the landowners.
Right.
There's another 400.
right.
On top
But
of
I'm saying, that's what I was asking Glenn, back in 21, 22, the estimate was 700,000, I think it was just the landowner.
Oh, it was.
think I'm-
That didn't include the bore.
No, they
Right.
never, because Mike's original design stopped at the train tracks. He refused to go under the train.
Okay.
And that didn't include any of the
anything north of 6.
north of 6.
But Glenville, oh, I didn't include.
No,
anything north of
back
6, so-
then, Mike
Yeah.
stopped at the railroad on
He
the south.
stopped at the railroad.
But Glenn feels confident that 770 is still good though, but
Yeah, we just rechecked some tile, and like even what we priced for tile was quite a bit.
That's the problem with kicking this down the road even further is,
But what
it's
I'm
not gonna
saying,
get
though-
cheaper.
what I'm saying though is back in 21, 22, it was 700,000, we're only 70,000 more 5 years later, and we're doing more.
That's impressive, really.
But a lot of the railroad's paying for a big chunk of that underneath the
Comparing
thing.
apples to apples.
Oh,
There's 500,000 that's not listed because it's direct to the right of way.
But the 700 that I'm comparing to the 770.
Right, it's just a tile to the landowners, yeah.
Is that when tile prices went through the roof, though, after
It was,
COVID?
that was right during COVID.
That was the highest it's ever been in the history.
And I say I'm comparing apples to apples, I'm comparing that price to price.
And the gravel.
Actually, I'm not, because the project's
You
not
get
the
gravel.
same, and I don't know what the.
Right, because really, that 700 in 2021
No.
didn't include any of the tile north of 6.
But-
At the same time that.
And I don't know what size or anything.
Yeah, and I think he had 20 bottom section, 36, because he was trying to work most of it off. Sure. That is, I mean, 21 is, tile was the highest, so, I mean, it's come down quite a bit since then.
I think there are some landowners up in that way that would be willing to pay more, and they said something about Bungie would pay more than what they're,
I haven't heard any mention of it. Like I said, I have notes from
I can
past years.
round that
the
up for
notes
you.
saying they were, but I haven't heard anything.
I talked to a representative afterwards, told him I was hoping he would speak up in favor of it, and he said basically that, number one, is, well, I don't know what number you guys want. And I said, I'm sorry, but I didn't know you wanted a number. All the people, I've talked to, what, 5 different people from CBG, and nobody said, well, what number do you want? Nobody, I figured that was up to them, not us, but
70 would cut it.
No, but this is where I think the tier, you know, if they're open to it and.
well,
770.
but I asked Roy to come over and Walker to be part of that conversation, and he said, well, when Bungie was gonna, their previous owner, they were gonna pay double. And I said, well, there you go. I said, double. So theirs would be, out of what, 50,000 or something, would now be double to 100,000. And he said, well, he didn't have the authority, he had to take that upstairs. I've not contacted back with him, and I can, to see if they've gotten an answer from up above to the higher ups, but I was kind of shocked that he wanted us to give him the number. I would have done it a long time ago. If I'd have known at least double, I would have said triple. And then, you know, come down from there, but,
So,
so,
for
anyway.
example, right, even if we would just assess them extra benefit, section 112 would say, per their land use, per their increased value of the track, the elimination of the flooding of their commercial fields. I mean, you could couch it in terms of, you know, they're a business. This isn't, it's agriculture, but it's business.
Well, it's still business, yeah.
And so you could justify more assessment against them.
Do we know, I mean, you have an idea of why it got so bad? Because just on, past pictures of it, seems like just in the last couple of years, it got extremely worse. And, you know, I can remember flooding on both sides of the road for a long time, but just looking in the past history, it looks like in the last couple of years, it got terrible.
Yeah, it's not disappearing in a day or two.
It didn't seem like it gradually, it seemed like it went from kind of bad to really bad. Do we know if there's any pattern tiled into it as of now?
Walker's,
It would maybe be only that one field of Walkers on
That's-
28 to the west. That one. That'd be the only one I know of that. Well,
yeah,
and the one to the north of the airport. But I don't think much
Nothing
of that's
south?
in the watershed.
I don't think they did that one yet.
And I think they did because that was when, remember one day we went out and like looked at,
Oh, yeah,
it was on that field.
yeah.
But that field, not much of that field's in the watershed. Most of that
It
goes
was up here.
Yeah, they,
to the George Manson.
yeah. I think you're right, they did pattern tile, but again, that water,
Go to the George
I went to the George Manson.
they went to the open ditch there.
I think it's just the one where his mouse is, I think is the only one that has some tiling, but I don't even know if it's full pattern tiled. I think it might just be.
Nothing on the south side of.
I don't know if I know Books doesn't have that field by 47 tile. Rocky doesn't have. Rocky's.
But to answer your question, Bruce, a few years ago, you know, we were having rainfall events of 2, 3, even 4 inches at a time where we hadn't had that in, you know, 10 years ago. So weather changes, yeah,
It has gotten worse.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, it has gotten worse.
I know the last,
That seems like kind of quick. I mean, it's always been bad for
It's been bad for a long time.
a long time, but.
I know the last maintenance we did on it, we had a terrible time trying to find a place to just stop. Like, just,
Well, if it was put
I
in
mean,
in 1875, I'm
Right.
sorry.
It's probably going,
you sneezed too close to that tile hooking it
Right.
up. You were
It
going
shattered.
another joint.
that is no fun.
I mean, it's all
No.
heart-shaped down like this, so like as soon as you unearth it, it just falls.
Yep.
Whole top split.
I don't know.
Well, we could easily come up with some kind of like algorithm or formula that would, you know, based on the land use, soil type maybe.
You can talk to Zach in LaGrange and see if he does more than just soil type. I mean, I thought he had a program or something that he,
Yeah, I can shoot him an email.
Some of you farmers to kind of figure out like how, so you'd almost have to base it off of what you can even profit from the ground and like what you.
I mean, increased value to the property is only one of the benefit factors,
Yeah.
so.
I don't know how long that would take. 6 hearing. I guess that would be my biggest.
Well, either way though, if we got a do.
I mean, 'cause at this point, you're not gonna, when would, I mean, it wouldn't delay getting it done anytime sooner, would it? I mean, you guys aren't gonna do it until winter time anyways.
Well, can we make that decision August 6th? Decide at that time what to do with that hearing?
Yeah, you,
Well, we about have to, don't we? I mean, we can't dismiss the hearing today. I mean.
no,
The hearing.
you'd have to open it and then say, based on the evidence you received from the landowners, you are
So we
going
have to the 6th to
to.
decide if we want to.
Would you have to get another petition to redo it, open it up again?
Not if could we do another extension if we think we could do it in a. I think August 6th, we're gonna be pushing to have a new assessment by then. Okay? 2 weeks, is that 2 weeks? And we can play that by ear too. I mean, come August 6th, could we do another extension of that hearing? Is that legal?
How many landowners would, you remember if this is big? 70? 70?
You can do the assessment, we can get those out.
Well, if we don't, do they need to go? Yeah, I guess.
If they're gonna get a new assessment, we should use clean slate.
Yeah, because like, as soon as you give a new assessment, then that changes like their rebuttal letter, you know, like.
Yeah, they're gonna be
everything.
confused
We
and,
should just cancel it and restart again.
Yeah.
With the new
Yeah.
program or whatever.
in other words, I think you're thinking about communicating to whoever shows up to say, we've heard you, we're going to revisit what we're doing, so we're gonna open it and cancel it. Now, we could in the paper, because that wouldn't cost a lot of money, right? It's just to say, you could tell, or you could get word of mouth that, hey, by the way, I know you're gonna take off work to come to this?
Right. All we're doing is canceling it.
When we're canceling it,
If we contacted everybody that was here last time, I think would.
that's true.
Technically, we can't say.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, we're canceling it, and then show up and we're all like, never mind, we're gonna go ahead and go with this.
To go.
This is all Steve's fault. Put that out there.
In fact, the minutes reflected today probably ought to just say, like, just want the mayor's office to look at a tier system, and there was talk about whether or not we,
Last like 2 pages.
Yeah.
I just,
oh, sorry.
no problem.
Stick the notes in later, just don't make it part of the official record.
Yeah.
We just don't want it to seem like the
We're
board's
looking
making
like we're
a
canceling.
decision.
Cancel in the minute.
Just say
It is a public
postpone.
meeting. Anybody could be here if they wanted to, but,
Well, the recording.
And it's recording too.
yeah, well. It doesn't need to have all that detail necessarily, I don't think. Unless you want it to be, I don't know.
You
Do we
still
need
want
a
to walk the
motion
door
to
bower
have the
though?
surveyor look into?
I would still like to walk it. I mean, I guess if we're
Let's
gonna
do-
cancel, it doesn't have to be as soon at this point.
Said that, don't use that word cancel.
Or, I'm sorry.
We're leaning that direction.
Yeah, I would love to walk it. I really would.
Okay. We'll get something set up.
Like I said, in my mind, it needs done, it's just the cost of benefit is and it has nothing to do with that wetland, wetland is, to me, is mute. Do we need a motion to have him do a tiered assessment, or just look into it and go from there? All right. We have anything else from the surveyor's office?
Nope.
That's enough.
Troy's like, there goes my next 2 weeks.
Tyler wasn't here to,
Fight against it.
anybody else got anything?
I would say this, that I would like to relook at our hearing agenda for reconstructions on the whole objection letter thing, because it's always been awkward, and I looked at the code again, and basically, it just says that the board shall consider the objections and evidence filed, may adjourn the hearing from day to day certain, or may issue an order for additional evidence. And then it says each objector may file written evidence in support of the objector's objections. Failure to do so means that they lose their right to have judicial review. I think the reason why back in the day they set up the procedure the way they did was they wanted it on the record that the objection was ruled on by the board. But what it does is before the board makes its decision, you're already making the decision with the objection. So I think they can be taken as a whole. I think if an objection says, if one of the objections says, hey, my water doesn't go that way, or I don't have 40 benefited acres, I only have 36, then you can say, we approve that part of the objection, and then the objection to the whole project, the board's gonna vote on. I think we can, if that's the direction I'm sensing that the board maybe would rather go, I think we can make that. There's nothing in the code that says you have to do each objection one by one, unless you still wanna do that.
they were all the same objections, it seems like it's fine, but you, because like there would be one, you may agree with the objection, but you're still going along with the.
That's what she said. She talked about like if the benefit acreages, or if it's not flowing into, we can do those separately, but the other ones we can group together. We don't have to do each one.
But one of the things I think they used to do back in the day, in the actual procedure, when you type it up, is you can say, here are the 6 objection letters, here is the basis for their objection. And then you could see it as a group, oh yeah, they all say this project is too expensive. But then you may have one that says, hey,
Pull them out that are.
yes, they say, there's a different objection. That might help.
That's what I'm saying, if you don't do them one by one, like, a couple of them were, majority of them had cost to benefit, and then some of them thought there should be a different, cheaper way of doing it. Some of them had like 3 different things, you know, so they weren't all the same. And like some of them didn't agree with, their 3 complaints. I agreed, most of them had the one complaint of benefit to cost.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had the maintenance and vacate and things like those would have to be separate to say why you're.
But I don't think you could, can you in one complaint agree to one part of it and deny the other part of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing we could consider is, so you have the approval first, right? Then what if we just have, does anybody want to speak against the project? Do the objections after that, and then you get maybe a sense of, and if they're here and want to speak against it, oh, did you file an objection letter? Okay, we'll read it as you're coming up. I don't know. It's never going to be perfect, but I was trying to think of ways to maybe make it not so awkward.
Make it what?
Not so awkward.
I mean, if there's only, what we have, only 5 or 6, we didn't have to actually do the one that was late, right?
Right, I still read it, but
Yeah, but, and I think that's good, but like, if there's only 5, that wouldn't take, you know, if we get into one that had a, but still, I think it could get pretty muddy if you had 20 of them, because they're not, unless they all went together and.
We've had a form letter done before in the past. I think we still should read them in the record, no question. So, yeah, and maybe we just leave it as it is and we'll work it out. But there's nothing in the code that says you do have to do it one by one. I guess that was my whole point. So you can think about it.
so for the tiered assessments, we'll try to come up with some kind of form. I'll probably have to reach out, try to figure out like percentage of, you know, do like residential, wooded, swamp ground versus farm ground and commercial properties. Are you wanting to do like commercial properties ×2 right away? Same with like, oh,
No, I wouldn't necessarily say, I mean, you gotta look at what they're benefiting, just because they're commercial property, I don't think they need to assess more. You know, are they benefiting more? Not based, not, it really isn't based on how they're classified, it's benefiting.
Maintenance.
True, I think the logic followed that if you're a big factory sitting on a site, your runoff is way more, so they are benefited more by having a higher assessment, right?
Maintenance has done that.
I'm saying like Anderson shouldn't be assessed more just because they're a corporation. Like, I would say if Anderson's gonna be assessed more, it'd be because roads open more, you know.
I see.
Things like that, not just, yeah, drainage too, if they are putting more water into the system, things like that, not just because it's a corporation.
And they're just discharging water faster than off of their parking lots and stuff that make a difference.
If that's the case,
also.
yeah. What county did you say that's doing that right now?
Range. He was working with that Matt, whatever his name is. He hasn't been here before, but they were in Steuben County a few times when I was up there doing their stuff. They came together.
I would make the comment that I really appreciated, Rebecca, what you sent on how to make those motions. That helped clarify that quite a bit. Thank you. That was nice.
Find us to review review that again.
I usually buy lunch, I'm never there.
All right, any further discussion? Katie, Becky? No, we're good. If there are no objections, this meeting will stand adjourned. Hearing no objections, this meeting is adjourned.